Hey guys, I hope you're all doing very well. Now, you could judge looking at me, I'm a bit gloom today. It's pretty hard to know why. Well, again, Chelsea played again. It's been a week-long break since the international break. It was a good rest, I would say, not watching Chelsea because the start this season has been, well, very poor. So, did Chelsea improve their lessons from the international break? Nah. It was another miserable performance against Bournemouth. It finished 0-0. The only thing you could really take from it is a clean sheet. But even still, I still honestly think that it was just still a terrible performance altogether, really. Just lack of chances, lack of creativity. We made the wrong decisions in the final third constantly, and it was just constantly becoming so frustrating that do we ever really look like scoring? Ever? It's just really, really frustrating to tell. It seems now, I have to say, from 5 points from 5 games now, this has been a really, really poor start to the season. No question of that. And I don't know whether we're going to have to really look at the manager because it seems to me tactically we're not really looking good. But judging like how we were last year, I don't really know if this really goes really deep to the manager because we've had the same problems last year, the way we've been playing, struggling to create chances, struggling to score in front of goal. And yet again, we have the same sort of flaw every single time. New manager, different players, nothing works. So again, it was just another really, really poor performance. So yeah, let's talk about the game real quick, starting with the starting 11. The only difference I could really tell was Mikhailo Mudryk played. Not really a player that I've given any praises for at all. His only sort of claim to fame to me was when he was mocking someone in the gym, and he's still, just an aspect of when you see him play on the cameras, he's still, a mockery on the pitch. That's really the only thing I could really tell. That was the only change today, and even still, his presence in the team, he's struggled like always. I don't know. I don't want to sort of pick it on him specifically because the whole team was not very good at all. It was just we weren't really sort of linking up to play well. We put Conor Gallagher as our captain. It was just like, where's the leadership? I looked at him today. He really had no authority of bringing the team together. Not like it was really on him as well because it seems like no one's got responsibility for anything now. Everyone's just walks around like ghosts. They're all anonymous to each other. It's just like everyone's so detached, really. Again, I saw Nicholas Jackson play today. He's had a few stinkers, to be brutally honest with you. And today he had more stinkers. He was pretty much on the floor more times, misplacing shots, and he wasn't reacting well. I'm sure, I would rather have Michael Jackson on the pitch. I'm sure he would have more moves than him, and he probably would have grabbed a goal than what Jackson is doing right now. It's really, really, poor, really. There's no real versatility in the way we're playing as well. It's just kind of we bring the ball forward, we drive, but then every single time in the final third, there was just a real misplaced pass every time, and I don't think really Bournemouth really looked at us as a real threat. They found it pretty easy for us to know that we're not going to really sort of create the chances well. We get to that final third, we will miss something, a misplaced pass. We'll take an underwhelming shot that makes it easy for the goalkeeper to save. To be fair, like the only real effort I could really pinpoint from that game was really a free kick that Sterling took. It was actually a really good free kick. It hit the bar. It didn't go over the line. And I thought that was like really the only good chance we had. Apart from that, it was just, we had shots that were easily blocked or just, there was just a timid effort that the goalkeeper just saved. Now, I know this is really going to be strange for me to say this, but I do genuinely believe if Bournemouth were a better team and they were more clinical, I do genuinely believe they would have probably took the result against us. It hasn't been a surprise. There's been a lot of snatch and grab results. You looked at Nottingham Forest. They capitalised on a real error from us, and they took one of their chances. And I was kind of thinking that it was going to be the exact same thing. Like, do we look like we can make mistakes? Judging how young the team is, it seems that it would have probably happened. And we had some mistakes here and there in this game today, and it did lead to Bournemouth have chances. Luckily Sanchez made some saves, but I have to say it's still not good enough. I mean, the start of the season has been so poor, and I don't really know what the next solution is. I think sooner or later this really does need to turn to the owner. I mean, the decision makings of what he's doing, the control he's doing at this club, with the transfers, the people who operate around the club, who he's recruiting. There's very big question marks. I don't really look at how any other football club will look at us as a model that we would actually think that is a good example of. So this is really it's just all round terrible. But yeah, judging from what I've been seeing the start from this season, I think there's just a whole heap of problems. I think the manager is kind of one aspect you have to look at. I think you have to look at the recruitment and the spending that we've done. It doesn't seem really good from a recruitment perspective. Signing young players on a big fee on a long term contract is very questionable. It seems the way. I think it's a way to get around this whole FFP loophole that they have. And I think there's lots of question marks, from probably ownership to the manager to the way we're playing. It's really not looking good. And I think this is probably going to be the reflection of this season. I don't even know whether or not we have to be careful, because last season I think there was an element of fear that we could have gotten relegated, and I would have probably judged that probably in the next few years, if this is the way we were playing, that potentially it could happen. It's not a surprise that when you watch teams who make bad business practices, that's where they go. So I think that's kind of a very unrealistic feat, but it potentially could happen. You never know. But overall, I have to say, just a terrible performance, another underwhelming display. It feels like watching Chelsea's become more of an excuse of me having depression. And yeah, that's about it. See you later.